Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 to this lovely Q&A on the second channel.
The Q stands for queer.
Honestly, you come out as gay one time and now everything has to... Now everything's gay all of a sudden. We did discover in the last video that me and my sister together make a BLT sandwich. It's, I would say, probably up there with the top 10 sandwiches. I'd maybe even say top 3.
Not a lover of the tomato myself.
You don't like tomatoes?
No.
Why not? Like not even cooked or like in a soup?
No, too
You don't
juicy.
like tomato soup?
Way too juicy. No.
But what, in the soup? It's
No.
not, there's no juice in a soup,
Well,
it's just soup.
Soup is all juice.
It's just good soup.
Good soup.
So this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 on the main channel, I'll leave a link down below. I advise you check that out first because otherwise it's going to be a bit confusing.
Check it out.
Thank you, Leah. We're answering a lot of questions about your journey, about transitioning, about surgery, which was incredibly gifted to Leah by Docfinderkorea and Nana Hospital.
Love them to bits.
Love you dearly. I want to just quickly say before the video gets started that although I have to declare this as an ad because the surgeries were gifted to Leah by Nana Hospital and also by Docfinderkorea, they did at no point tell us what to say. If you are trans and you're looking to get support and just some ideas about how you can help further your transition, if you're interested in that, I cannot recommend contacting Docfinderkorea enough. They are incredible. Nana Hospital was, I mean, you've said it yourself, they were flawless with how
I don't have a bad word to say about Nana. It's an insane facility, insane staff.
So like nicely decorated, by the way, like so not
it was
important.
Gorgeous. I felt like I was on the set of some sci-fi film.
Yeah, like it's like super hotel-y, it's super nice, everyone's dressed really well. It's so relaxing, the environment, and there's a really nice coffee place just underneath it, which is super like not relevant if you're getting a surgery, but like just a little sprinkle, a little bonus.
They are world class, gold standard. Yeah,
Gold standard.
you would really struggle to do better than Docfinderkorea and Nana. It was just, I do not have a single bad word to say.
What is the smallest change from the surgery that made the biggest change to you, either emotionally or physically?
Oh, that's tough. I think it's not a massive thing, but changing the shape of my jawline they changed it so slightly, the angle on my jaw, but it was immediately noticeable for me.
Yeah.
And now I can look in a mirror, and obviously some days I'm like, oh my God, you're Shrek. And other days I look at it and I'm like, that looks so much different than it did 2 months ago. And it's immediately noticeable. And that has done wonders for my confidence.
I'll put up the CT before and after images of Leah's jaw. And when
they messed me up.
Yeah, that is like insane. I'll put the CT scans up, and I'll also put up photos of her face during the healing process. And you will notice that the photos themselves are not particularly flattering because of the angles they're taken at.
I look dreadful.
But you can see a difference. You'll notice how much more naturally feminine your face looks. Everyone was obsessed with your hair, by the way.
Yeah, and I've straightened it, so it's a bit different now.
Yeah, she has like an afro,
enough.
but she straightened it the last couple of days, and so I think people are going to be a bit mad about this. They're going to be like, what happened? But yeah, no, Leah's hair was a huge, like almost every comment was about your damn hair.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How did you choose which surgeries you wanted and which order you wanted them in? I know it's quite a big and scary step.
Okay, so I think surgery-wise, I had an idea of what I was after. So they sort of ask you to identify any areas that you're not happy with and then suggest some things which you'd like done to them. So I knew that my jawline was going to get changed, my chin especially, and my nose. I was curious if I could do something to my brow, but
to have like a fat graft or
yeah,
something.
but when I spoke to the surgeons, they recommended that actually just putting on weight would accomplish everything that I could want from it. So see you in 15 years when that happens.
Unfortunately, Leah's metabolism is way too fast, and it means that she can't put on weight even though she would really like to, because it would help with filling out her form, with her estrogen, and also like make her face look a bit more feminine.
The doctor said, the surgeon, he said that the absolute best thing that he would have liked to have done is a fat graft for my face, but unfortunately I do not have any fat to take.
I said she could borrow mine, but apparently that's not cool. You can't do that.
You have to come back maybe next year after putting on some weight, and we'll see what we can do there, which is very nice of him. I just had the chin, the jaw, and the nose done, And then obviously the breast augmentation as well.
And your before and afters, by the way, are insane. Like the skill that these surgeons have.
What was most surprising for me is the breast surgery. I was always led to believe that there were going to be like huge scars if you adjust your breasts.
Yes,
But
we've been told like forever. I mean, breast augmentations, you get these big scars under here. That's what you should expect.
Pop the
implants
in or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, my scars now are gone already, completely gone.
Which is crazy.
Which is nuts. In 3 months, I have no scarring, and they were tiny little slits, probably less than an inch across.
And they were in her armpit.
In the armpit, so you don't even see them. And he just managed to fit these things in, which is just, no scarring at all now, completely healed.
Which is
brilliant.
Such a natural look. Like,
yeah,
damn.
the only real healing that I have now is just slow deswelling.
Yeah.
But yeah, the surgery, the choices that I wanted, like I said, it was just sort of areas that I wasn't happy with, or that I felt looked too masculine.
You did very much go with their recommendations.
Yeah, I had a very masculine nose and a masculine jawline, and I wanted to get those changed. I knew that. And then when I was in the consultation, I had my CT scan. He said, actually, your chin has got sort of like an asymmetrical point where obviously when I was in the fire service, I got hit in the face with a ladder. And I think that took a decent chunk out of my chin.
Once the doctor pointed it out, I couldn't unsee it. Neither could you.
Unsee it either. I'd never noticed it. And then he pointed it out, and every mirror I looked at, I was like, oh my God, my chin is asymmetrical. I've never thought about that before.
It was amazing because also a couple of people did ask, did they push for any like certain surgeries? Like,
Not at all. No, I mean, it was entirely my recommendation for what I would have done. And then I said, I know the surgeries that I want, but I don't know how I want them to be done. And they said, that's fine. We'll give you some ideas. And they gave me some ideas. And I said, ultimately, I trust you guys. You'll know what looks good. You've done this for, tens of years. And they did do what looks good, I think.
Yeah.
They made the best of a bad situation with my face.
Your face is not a bad situation. It was just a different one. It was one that you didn't want to be in.
Yeah, they did fantastically. They never pushed anything else on me whatsoever. When I was doing my breast augmentation consultation, the surgeon said, this size is like the smallest that you can go, and this size is the biggest that you can go with your sort of torso size. And I said, okay, well, I quite like the smallest size here. I think this is a good fit. And they make you try it on in like a try-on bra, and you can see the sizes and how it looks for your form. And then when it came to the actual surgery itself, he put that in. He said that he saw almost no change whatsoever. Yeah. So he actually upped it one more in the surgery and made that sort of on-the-call decision. And I was so thankful for it because I can actually notice my boobs now. Yeah. Whereas beforehand, he said you wouldn't have noticed anything really. Reaffirmed in my head, I was like, they really know what they're talking about.
How did you start your hormone therapy? Did you have to wait? And how is it having to take hormones every day?
Okay, so again, multiple answers to this one question.
Oh my God, sorry, I've just realized one says, is she single? ? She's a cutie.
No.
Wait, what? You're not single?
Again, NHS, God bless them, they do their best, but they don't have enough people. So I did not get my hormones on the NHS. Mm-hmm. If you're in the UK, you're privileged. I'm not sure how it is abroad, but at least in the UK, if you need hormones, you can go to a private therapist, which is money, and you can get a referral to a transgender clinic. There are a few of them in London. I go to the London Transgender Clinic, and they're brilliant. And they had a small fee to pay for an initial consultation. I went into London, spoke to them for a few hours, and they said, yeah, you're definitely trans. And they wrote me a prescription after taking some measurements and stuff. And I had my prescription the same day. It is a bit of a pain having to remember to take it twice a day. But, it's far better than the alternative, which is not taking it at all. So that's what I do.
And also, can I just say a huge thank you to everyone who supported the streams that I did to raise money for Leah's transition, because the money that we raised during those streams is very much what paid for her being able to get access to hormones and also get access to a vocal coach, which is something else that a lot of people asked is, how is your voice the way it is? Because a lot of people commented in the videos.
I hate my voice. I absolutely hate it, but it's a work in progress, as is many things during my transition.
When you are female to male trans, testosterone lowers your voice, so it does impact your voice, which is why a lot of people who take testosterone,
talking down here somewhere,
it's not very obvious that they're trans a lot of the time because their voice is what a lot of cis people expect a masculine voice to be. Whereas when you are a M to F trans, a lot of the time your voice, when you take estrogen, it doesn't impact your vocal cords.
It doesn't do it at all. Yeah,
so
never.
It's a lot of work. So a lot of the time, this is what outs a lot of trans women, is that a lot of cis people are like, oh, your voice doesn't sound how I think a feminine voice sounds. And so a lot of trans people, if they have access to it, like do vocal coaches. But yeah, a lot of people said that they were very impressed in the way that your voice sounded during the video, because it didn't sound really strained or really forced.
It was really horribly strained. So when I was in Korea, the amount of stress that I was under, it was actually fairly difficult to talk.
Yeah.
Now I'm much more relaxed. You probably hear my voice sounds a bit different, but there it was awful, and I sounded probably really nasally and high-pitched or just all over the place in general. And that's kind of because I was walking around and I had 15 different people following me with cameras.
You looked famous, by the way. She looked famous all the time.
I genuinely had an entourage following me around Seoul, just people trying to film my every move. Like, I am not that interesting, guys. So yeah, it was very much stressful. Walking around the hospital and stuff, you know, it was just too difficult to speak sometimes. Do not use my voice as an example, because my voice is terrible, but we are getting there. But like I said, you've probably seen hundreds of trans people in your life, and you would never have known. Voice work is difficult, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And so many people have done it successfully. They sound just like any other woman. You would never know.
How did you choose your name?
Oh, that's tough. I don't think there was too much inspiration, really. I've sort of played around with names online for a long time, but Leah was one that sort of really stuck with me, and it's a very sort of trans stereotype, but I really liked the way that it felt when people called me Leah. So that was just what ended up sticking. And I probably chose it in 2017, 2018, something like that.
I only found out this like last year, so I was behind the curve. My mum was so annoyed though, because my mum had spent like months choosing your dead name, and she was like, "What's wrong with the name?" And Leah was like, "Well, I just don't like it." And then mum was like, "Yeah, but I chose it, but I spent a really long time
and
choosing it."
And mum was like, well, "I don't like Leah." Brilliant. Cheers, mum. That's just what I wanted to hear.
How come you decided to document this journey? The reason that this was documented as a series, as you know, the whole thing, is because it was part of the agreement between me and Nana and Docfinderkorea.
But also, I feel like it's important to have this kind of openness about this subject, because at the moment it is still so contentious.
Yeah.
And there are so many people who just don't know about it, or are, you know, not willing to learn about it. I just think it's important to have to sort of put out something in the media, so that people can sort of see it is quite normal. It's not actually that drastic. You don't realize that you are probably only a few people away from someone who is trans. And a lot of people get it in this head that it's us and then it's trans people, it's non-binary people, but it's not. It is just a process of life that's slightly different to what you as a cis person understand. And it gave people the opportunity to come on a journey and to see what it's like, to see, you know, your life change for the better in a way that was hopeful and optimistic and wonderful, but it allowed you to control your own narrative, and it allowed people to ask questions. What has it been like to help / watch your sister transition? It's been, like I said earlier, I mean, it's like watching her become herself. It's very odd, and it's a privilege, I mean, to see someone grow into the person they always should have been. And I think if a trans person is trusting you to be this close to them during their journey, whether you're family, friends, it's something that you should not take lightly, because it is a very emotional, it's a very hard journey. I mean, I've seen you shed tears over this. Like, it's not easy. It's painful, like physically and emotionally exhausting. And if a trans person trusts you to accompany them in that journey, that's an honor. It really is. So I mean, yeah, it's been pretty sick. I think that's it for all of the questions. I mean, it's not. There were literally hundreds. Mostly people just wanted to know, are you happy? I'm happy. Yeah. Good, nice. I hope that answers your question. Sorted. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative. If you want to watch part 1 or any of the other videos in this South Korea surgery series, I will link them down below with lovely Leah's face being cut up. I did get a lot of messages about people wanting to support Leah and asking if there was a place that they could, you know, message her and potentially send her financial support, you know, to help her with her transition, because as we've discussed, transitioning is exceptionally expensive. You haven't got a Patreon or anything yet, but we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out, and we'll leave a link down below. I also do streams occasionally to raise money for my sister's transition. But yeah, thank you all so much.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give it a cheeky little thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. You do you, boo. Remember to hydrate, look after yourselves, and as always, give my kisses to your mother.